Written and directed by Jacques Audiard, the French auteur responsible for A Prophet, The Beat That My Heart Skipped, typically does these sort of artsy, unconventional French crime movies, you could say. And this movie is mostly Spanish language. Is takes place in Mexico, not in France or in a French speaking country, and it's based on a opera libretto that Audiard wrote. It stars Zoe Saldana, Carlos Sofia Gascon, Selena Gomez, heard of her? Edgar Ramirez is in here, and it's about a feared cartel leader. Think El Chapo kind of character. Who is as the movie starts out, is like a pre-op transgender woman who is trying to figure out, how do I escape this life of crime and drugs in order to become who I really am. And that process is facilitated by Zoe Saldana as this lawyer. And then Selena Gomez is the wife of the cartel leader, who is sort of lied to and told that the cartel leader has died. Meanwhile, the cartel leader is going off to Switzerland to transition. And the cartel leader also has kids that also think that their who they knew as their father died. But then in this incredible twist, it essentially in the second half of the movie does like the Mrs. Doubtfire plot in the middle of this incredible sort of wild musical that I'm going to talk about. But essentially the cartel leader comes back in their life as like this mysterious aunt, and then like that way like reconnects with Selena Gomez and the kids. And then there's still cartel stuff going on, and it's wild. Let's see. Its original songs were contributed by oops, sorry, I don't have that name here. Something Camille. Oh, just Camille. Just one name. Okay. So original songs contributed by Camille Dalmay. There it is. Camille Dalmay, who goes by the mononym Camille. And then the original score was provided by Clément Ducol. The choreographic sections of the film are designed by Damien Jalette. And I shout them out because this is a fucking musical with a capital M. I actually think it's probably closer to an opera than a musical, not just because it was based on a libretto, but because it just has like music in its like bones. It's not just like big show-stopping numbers. It is like little like rhythms and sort of syncopations will come in and just be like under a line of dialogue and then go out, and like dialogues like won't break into full song, but they will break into this sort of like rhythmic singing back and forth. There's like a scene where like the like sicarios are all loading their guns, and it like slowly turns into this like rhythmic sort of dance of like loading the guns. So it feels much more like a ballet or an opera in the way that it employs music. I think it's just, as a movie, it's easier to classify it as a musical. That's the genre that we would think of, but it really feels closer in type to sort of opera or ballet. It's very expressionistic in the way that it uses music. It's not just sort of like Wicked or something, just like you're just waiting for Defying Gravity. It's like there's music in sort of every sort of inch of it to some extent.
Wicked fans gonna come get you for that.
Come and get me, baby. I love both, but I think I love Emilia Pérez a little bit more because this movie, distributed by Netflix, is getting tons of Oscar buzz right now. Yeah. And the question on everybody's tongues now that it's out on Netflix is it deserved? This is the big, I feel like out of all the Oscar buzz movies, this is the big, like, is it overhyped or is it the real deal movie? Because it's taking such stylistic risks and it's so unconventional. And in my humble opinion, Joe, you bet your fucking ass the hype is deserved. Emilia Pérez fucking rocks. My review of Emilia Pérez, go watch Emilia Pérez. There's so little that I can sort of say to adequately prepare you for this movie. There's also very little I can do to convince you that it's good if you don't think it's good. The great thing about this movie is it is going to be divisive, and that might hurt its award season opportunities. We'll talk about that in the second half of the show on Patreon, but it's going to have its super fans. It's going to have its detractors who say it's messy. I found this movie to be exhilarating, bold, and actually not messy at all. I thought there was, like I was saying about the music, I thought there was so much precision to this movie, to the music, to the dance sequences. I thought it was a great combination of filmmaking mastery with this like wild uncontainable creative spirit. And unlike Joker 2, which we watched earlier this month, this movie, to say it again, wants to be a musical. It fucking wants to be a musical. It needs to be a musical. It can't like help being a musical. The music just sort of bubbles out of it. It's incredible the way it happens. And it's a movie that I wonder if a lot of the negative reviews were people who established that a negative feeling about the movie in the first 20 minutes or so, and then just sort of like we're sort of checked out. Because I will say the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, there's a lot of like work done to like establish the sort of rules of the movie, establish the dynamic of the movie. A lot of the real fun and the big gut punches and the really exciting musical numbers are coming in the second half of the movie. And that's not to say that the first half didn't work. It's just a movie that has to kind of like establish some things in order to do what it wants to do. And so there's just a little more sort of like tedium maybe to the first 15 to 20 minutes. There's like one musical number that is kind of iffy. But man, when it starts to dig in, it digs in hard and does not let up, and it has some, like, for a movie that's very heavy on style, it has real emotion to it. There's a couple real just sort of big emotional numbers. And so you're getting the best of both worlds, like, yeah, with all these sort of avant-garde uses of music, but also some just big fucking arias in there.
Sounds really good.
It's great. The three leads are fantastic. They all deserve awards consideration, but Zoe Saldana is the standout for me. I think, she's been doing a lot of action movies throughout her career. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is a big example, but a lot of other sort of sleeker, smaller action movies. I really feel like that action movie training came in really handy here, because she is so, like, physically amazing in this movie, and particularly in the dance sequences. The way she does some of these dance sequences, she's like transcending the choreography. When you see a dancer that is so locked in, they are just like, they're not just doing the moves, they're like expressing the moves. They're like they've figured out the choreography so much. It's real instinctive. She's so fucking good in this.
That's amazing, man.
Yes, she's amazing. But the other two leads performances are great as well. I fucking loved Emilia Pérez. Go watch it this weekend on Netflix. I wouldn't be surprised to see it in the Best Picture conversation for the rest of, between now and the Oscars. I also wouldn't be surprised to see it in my top 10 at the end of the year. We'll see.
What?